What is up, everybody? Belugas for the win here, and I'm bringing you the NFL Draft Review Analysis, and I'm pretty much just going to be going by pick by pick, and what I think and what I believe this player will do in the future. So obviously, number one overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, defensive end out of South Carolina. It's what we all expected to be number one. Maybe you could have thought like maybe they're going to go for the swerve and get maybe Johnny Manziel, Blake Bortles, Khalil Mack. They could have gone really any way, but just as pretty much everyone suspected, they drafted Jadeveon Clowney, and this guy could pretty much be either one of the greatest defensive ends of all time, or he could be one of the biggest busts of all time. That's how I see it, and I'm starting to lean towards greatest defensive ends. If he plays like he did in college, and didn't show a lot of effort, a lot of plays, and if he only uses the same move over and over again, it's really not going to get him anywhere. But honestly, I'm just looking for the big things for this guy in the future. Second overall pick, my team, the St. Louis Rams, drafted Greg Robinson. I like the pick. They desperately needed an offensive lineman, and from either a right tackle or a guard or center, and they drafted someone who could play tackle or guard. And Greg Robinson, I've heard Orlando Pace comparisons, which being a Rams fan, I like he a lot, and I'm also looking for big things from this guy in the future, and hopefully he's Orlando Pace and not Jason Smith. Number 3 overall, this is like the first swerve of the night. The Jaguars drafting Blake Bortles, quarterback out of Central Florida. Honestly, was not expecting this at all. Was suspecting either Khalil Mack, maybe Johnny Manziel, or Sammy Watkins. But Blake Bortles, it's not who I was suspecting at all. But he's a Florida guy. Puts butts in the seats, which the Jaguars are desperate need of. And this guy was going to have a great career until he got drafted by the Jaguars. Joke of the draft, I guess. My joke of my draft review. There'll probably be plenty more to come. Number 4, the Bills trade up from number 9 or 8. Yeah, 9. Okay, sorry, my bad. Trade up from number 9 to number 4 overall to draft Clemson wide receiver Sammy Watkins. See, this I like this a lot. The Bills really didn't have a number 1 receiver. I mean, Stevie Johnson, he can be, but I mean, with the other receivers on the roster, I mean, they didn't really have someone consistently be that number 1. And Stevie Johnson's actually in San Francisco now because he got traded. So great pick by the Bills, and something I thought was really cool is that Sammy Watkins was actually a Bills fan growing up. So I mean, kind of dream come true playing for your team as a kid, and it just thought it was really cool. 5th overall pick, the Raiders drafted Khalil Mack, and this is another guy who I could see a boomer bust guy. He reminds me he could do anything, but I still have that. I kind of have that Aaron Curry feeling. Khalil Mack could be a great 4-3 defensive end, or he could be like how Aaron Curry was, being like the safe pick of the draft, which Khalil Mack was, and then turned out to be a huge bust, and I don't even think he plays in the league anymore, or free agency or something like that. Number 6, it's Jake Matthews, Falcons draft Texas A&M tackle Jake Matthews. He's probably the best pass blocker in this draft, and he's also a very above average run blocker, and I think it's a great pick for the Falcons, as they had a lot of trouble protecting Matt Ryan this year. They gave up a ton of sacks, and I feel like if Khalil Mack went to them, they would have gotten Khalil Mack. So it was pretty much like they just didn't care who went for him, who went down to them, and sorry for the interruption, but I'm just gonna adjust my mic real quick. And number 7 overall, Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Texas A&M wide receiver Mike Evans. I was hoping Mike Evans would fall to the Rams because I fell in love with watching this guy's tape, but unfortunately he didn't. He went where I suspected him to go, and that's Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, after getting rid of Mike Williams, they needed another receiver, and I feel like Mike Evans is going to eventually take over for Vincent Jackson after he either leaves or retires or whatever Tampa Bay is going to do with him. But in my mind, great pick. Just they got a great player out of Mike Evans, and let's just hope he doesn't play against the Rams this year. Number 8 overall, the Browns actually traded one pick up and pretty much swapped picks with the Vikings and drafted Justin Gilbert, cornerback out of Oklahoma State. See, I understand why they traded up because I know the Vikings were high on Gilbert, although, you know, honestly, I don't know, but I know Justin Gilbert's a great player, very fast. He's pretty much like the prototype cornerback. He can return kicks and punts. He's has tremendous ball skills, and this cornerback tandem's gonna be very scary in the near future. Number 9, the Vikings select UCLA Anthony Barr, outside linebacker. This guy, I see another boomer bust guy. I think he's either gonna take a few years to become like a really great player, or he's just gonna be just below average his whole career. I just didn't. I mean, yeah, he's pretty fast. He has good blockchain skills, but I mean, honestly, nothing really impressed me when I watched the tape. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I guess. Number 10, Lions draft North Carolina tight end Eric Ebron. I love this guy a lot. Not biased at all because I did an NCAA 14 dynasty for funsies, and Eric Ebron was just a beast. I could just throw it up and he'll catch it. But I watched after I found out after I realized that he was a senior coming out in the draft. I immediately started looking up tape, and he's a great player. I could see him kind of being like another Brandon Pettigrew type, but I mean it just depends on like his mindset. Like if he wants to, he could be as good as he wants to be, and he's an athletic freak, especially for his size, and we're gonna look forward to him playing on Sundays. 11th overall pick, the Titans select Michigan offensive tackle Taylor Lewan. This was another guy I kind of wanted to fall to the Rams, but regardless, he gets drafted here to the Tennessee Titans. He could be, I think he's also a great pass blocker, and he's probably an average run blocker, and I think he's going to he reminds me of a less tempered Richie Incognito when he plays, but I think this guy he's probably gonna be. I don't think he'll be the best tackle coming out of this year's draft, but he'll definitely be, of course, top 3 along with Robinson and Matthews. The Giants, number 12 overall, select LSU wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. This kind of shocked me a little bit. I pretty much expected either Taylor Lewan or Eric Ebron to go here, but they both went earlier than I expected, and they just drafted Odell Beckham. I guess they don't really need a wide receiver. That's why it kind of shocked me. I mean, they have Victor Cruz, Ruben Randall, that I believe Jernigan's still on the team. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. And honestly, I just didn't really see a huge reason why they drafted him. But anyways, number 13 overall, St. Louis Rams, second pick in the first round. They draft Pittsburgh defensive tackle Aaron Donald. I was very shocked when he fell all the way down to number 13. And I honestly haven't seen a lot of tape on him, but a lot of people said, Fearsome Foursome's back, like it's going to be the best defensive line in the league, which got me really excited for this pick. And let's just hope that he could be as good as people are expecting him to be, which I know I would love that a lot. Number 14, Bears Virginia draft Virginia Tech cornerback Kyle Fuller. In my opinion, this guy was the most NFL ready corner. I honestly thought that the Vikings would draft him, but he didn't go there, obviously. And I think he's going to be a great cornerback, and he's just going to he's pretty much like a Bear. Like if you just see his tape, you expect that guy is probably going to be a Bears player. Like he just probably fits them the most. And yeah. And I say and yeah a lot. So sorry about that. Number 15, Steelers draft Ohio State outside linebacker Ryan Shazier, and holy cow, they have a very fast linebacking core. You can tell they're really trying to rebuild it after Larry Foote, Lamar Woodley, and they're getting old. James Harrison left. They're pretty much rebuilding their great linebacker core, and I believe this guy is going to be playing probably inside linebacker, and it's going to be scary fast. Like he ran a 4.38. He's a tremendous athlete, and it's going to be scary. I drafted this guy in Madden. He was a beast, and I want to see him succeed just because of that. uh, Number 16, the Cowboys draft Notre Dame offensive tackle Zach Martin, also known as the little kid in Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Just kidding, another joke. Really horrible joke. But this guy, haven't really seen a lot on him, although I've heard people praise him, like he's great, and could be a huge addition to this Cowboys team, who are in need of both offensive and defensive linemen. And honestly, was hoping Johnny Manziel would be drafted here. Like I want to see Manziel succeed, and I just thought he was tons of fun to watch in college. He the players play for him, but man, I wanted him to go here so bad. I thought it'd be hilarious if Jerry Jones and the rest of the Cowboys drafted him. But number 17, Ravens draft Alabama linebacker C.J. Mosley, and I think this is a great pickup. C.J. Mosley, I think, is going to pretty much solidify that defense for years to come. He's going to eventually be the leader. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Ray Lewis, but he'll definitely be a top linebacker in this league. The Jets, number 18 overall, draft Calvin Pryor, Louisville free safety. Personally, I've seen quite a bit of tape on him, and I love this guy. Like, honestly, I hope Calvin Pryor is as good as I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be a great player, All-Pro, Pro Bowl. Reminds me of kind of like an Eric Berry who could hit, because Calvin Pryor does have a nose for the ball, and he could get to, as he had three picks this year, 75 tackles, and he's a huge hitter. So number 19, Dolphins draft Tennessee offensive tackle Jawan James, and honestly, I'd never heard of this guy before. As soon as he got drafted, I was like, who? Never heard of him. But the Dolphins heavily need offensive linemen, especially after the Richie Incognito, Jonathan Martin incident. Never forget. And I guess this is what they needed. Honestly, with the amount of offensive linemen taken, it definitely shocked me that they didn't trade down. And I believe they could have gotten him, because I know a lot of people had him like late second or like third, fourth, late second at best. So I mean, they could have definitely gotten him later. But I guess that was their guy. I mean, Kyle Long was this guy last year, although they didn't expect Kyle Long to fall down or to be as drafted as low as they expected Jawan James to be drafted. But I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. Number 20, the Saints trade up to the Cardinals pick to draft Oregon State Brandon Cooks, wide receiver. Should have probably said that in between Oregon State and Brandon Cooks. But this guy, I believe he's 5'8", 180 something. He's very fast. I believe he ran a 4.33 at the 40, and he was a great receiver. I think he won like the best receiver of the year. I believe that was him. I don't know the exact name of the award, but I know he won it. I'm like 90% sure he won it, and it's a great pick for the Saints. I mean, especially if Marcus Colston keeps having seizures in the last second of crucial games, they're going to need a wide receiver to take over for him. And although this guy's the number one receiver, he's definitely probably going to be one of the best slot receivers in the league, especially with Drew Brees at quarterback. But number 21 overall, Packers select Alabama free safety, Clinton Dix. This guy's a great player. He's he's great on run support. Isn't the best as far as interceptions and being a ball hawk goes. Although he has had, I think sophomore year, he had like 5 or 6 interceptions, but really lacked this year, I believe, with only one or three or something like that. And this guy, he's another guy who I feel like fits the mold of a Green Bay Packers safety. Although it's not as noticeable as a Browns corner or a defensive player in general. I still think like this guy is going to fill in nicely for the Packers, who desperately needed a safety. Now, number 22 overall, Browns select Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel. He finally goes after falling 21 picks. He finally gets picked, and it's crazy. Like, honestly, I want to see Johnny Manziel succeed. It's just going to be really difficult. He's a Browns player. Especially, Josh Gordon facing that 1-year suspension or 1-year ban from the NFL. They're going to desperately need a wide receiver, especially because, Josh Gordon was pretty much the only receiver that they had. But this guy, he's a player. He's a competitor. He's a leader. He makes the players want to play for him, which is why I kind of actually wanted Johnny Manziel to go to the Rams. But it's whatever. And it's gonna be fun watching him in NFL, and I hope that he could do as well as the NFL as he did in college. But the number 23 Chiefs select defensive end Dee Ford out of Auburn. Honestly, I haven't seen really any of this guy's tape. I haven't really heard the name very much, and I can't really say anything about him. So instead of saying all this stuff about him that I don't know, I'm just gonna say nothing. So pass. 24th overall pick, Bengals select Michigan State cornerback Darqueze Dennard. I don't know how to say his last name. But this guy, he was the number 1 rated corner, I believe, on Mike Mayock's list, and he's going to be I think he's going to be a great corner. He's going to fit well in this Bengals scheme, and I think he'll be a great corner, say that too much. Sorry about that, burps there. But, anyway, he's going to be a great player. I think he has a bright future ahead of him, and, So 25th overall, Chargers select TCU cornerback Jason Verrett. I like this guy a lot. I've seen some tape on him. I think he's going to be a great corner. And I know he's not the biggest guy, but he performs. He puts his heart out into the game, and I want to see this guy succeed. Sorry about the cut again. But anyways, 26 overall, the Eagles from the Colts through the Browns draft Louisville outside linebacker Marcus Smith. Once again, haven't really seen a ton on this guy, so I'm just not going to go into detail. So I guess moving on to 27 overall, Cardinals select Washington State safety Deon Buchanan. Was really disappointed that he went here. Wanted him to fall to St. Louis in the second round, but unfortunately that did not happen. And he got picked up by the Cardinals, our division rival. And it's, he's a great player from what I've seen in college, and hope he does not perform in the NFL. No, I'm not going to be like that, but he has the potential to be a really good player in the NFL, and maybe we'll see. 28th overall, Panthers select Florida State wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin. This one shocked me a lot, because Kelvin Benjamin, although, he's a number 1 receiver and the Panthers desperately needed it, I believe he had like a 46% drop rate, which is horrible. That's not good at all. And, maybe he could improve his hands in the NFL. And, he's obviously not going to learn as much because Steve Smith is gone. But, maybe he could perform. 29 overall, Patriots select Florida D tackle Dominic Easley. Gonna be honest, I haven't seen a ton on any D tackles really, and so I can't really say anything about that. 30th overall, Niners select Northern Illinois safety Jimmy Ward. Another guy that if Deon Buchanan was there, was hoping the Rams would select. Fortunately, he's not going to be there, obviously, because he's going to the Niners. Another guy who I suspect to be a great player, or at least above average player in the NFL until he's drafted to the Niners. Now I suspect him to be a great player just because everybody on the Niners is great and has 115 hit power according to Madden. But anyways, this guy he's going to be good, and I guess that's really it. 31 overall, Broncos select cornerback Bradley Roby, Ohio State. This guy I believe is going to be good. Obviously Ohio State they put out great players, and I believe Bradley Roby is going to be one of them. And that's really all I have to say. 32nd overall, Vikings trade up to Seattle's pick to pick up Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback out of Louisville. This really shocked me. I personally believe that Derek Carr is going to be better than Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy Bridgewater, obviously had his great college career. He only had 2 interceptions his senior year. Absolutely garbage workouts, and obviously Mike Zimmer and the rest of the Vikings front office saw something in Teddy Bridgewater that the rest of the teams didn't. And I know Mr. Hurricane, other YouTuber, probably doesn't know who I am, said something about him being his second-ranked quarterback, and he's not upset with the pick. So, Hurricane's the guy who knows who he's talking about, or knows what he's talking about. So, I guess this could be a good pick for the Vikings. We'll just see in the future. And just will he be starting, or will he sit a year or sit a few games before he starts? I personally think that he'll eventually start eventually this year, whether it's week 1 or week, say, like 13. But anyways, that's it for my NFL draft review / analysis. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys later.